Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we're going to go ahead and cover my top 10 niche fragrances for fall 2016. Now, this list is in counterpart to my designer fragrance list, for those of you who don't know, and it's very similar obviously, except we're covering niche fragrances in this list. Now, let's get right down to the dirty business, cover the criteria that this list actually is, and then get right into the actual list. Now, first thing and first piece of note is that this is my list, this is only my list, this is not a list that I've curated based on what I think is best for people or based on what I think are the most complimented fragrances or anything like that. This is surely a list of the fragrances that I'm going to be wearing for the fall in ranked order. Alright? Now the second point of note is, what do I consider fall? I consider fall, I live in New York basically, so the temperatures range variably. It starts off pretty hot in the fall and then it turns pretty cold into the winter to the point where at the end of fall you're talking about easily snow at that point. So those are the two extremes for it. So generally I tend to demand a fragrance do well, better in the cold weather actually, and still at the same time do a little bit pretty good, in the warm weather as well too. Bad English there. But either way, let's go ahead and get started and jump right into the list. Now at number 10, we have a fragrance that I actually tried to give away, and the person who was supposed to receive it never actually contacted me, so it still stayed in my collection. And then I thought, well, hey, you know what? I might as well use it, and I've been taking a liking to it a little bit more. We are talking about Wild from the house I'm bad with pronunciation. Jardin Écrivain. I butchered that name. Name is on the screen though. Alright, now this fragrance is the closest fig fragrance that I could possibly like. Now, it's got a very welcoming, soothing type of advice to, or type of a scent. Most fig fragrances make me sick to my stomach. And this one initially did, but it's been kind of growing on me a little bit, which kind of got me thinking maybe it's not fig. Anyways, this fragrance is one that I generally tend to wear in casual situations and will wear in casual situations as well. But it's there at number 10. We have Wild. Coming in at number 9, we have a fragrance from the House of Creed. The fragrance we're going to touch upon is Royal Oud. Now, Royal Oud Millésime, this fragrance is, it's strange. This is definitely an oud fragrance, but this is the lightest oud that I've probably come across at all. It's more, it's like an aromatic oud, if you will. And it comes off with the lightness of Creed and is just a very nice, light to wear oud. This is almost an intro oud. If not for the price, I would easily call it an intro oud, and something that people who weren't necessarily used to oud can, give it a try and see if they liked it. So Royal Oud is my number 9 fragrance. Now I generally tend to wear this sucker when in upscale occasions, and that's generally when I'm wearing this one. Number 9, Royal Oud. Now number 8, fragrance number 8 we have is from the House of Frappin. The fragrance is 1270. Now this fragrance, I love the actual fragrance, but I've never been so disgusted with an actual bottle. I sparingly use this sucker only because of what you see is left in this bottle. I mean, it's a lot left in the bottle, but what I've used is probably only about half of that stuff. Why? Because it leaked. This bottle leaks like crazy. It's poor design. But the actual scented smell itself, fantastic. Dried berries, fruits. It's almost like a niche version of Dolce & Gabbana's The One, if you were to compare it to an actual scent. But fantastic scent. I generally tend to wear it either to work or in casual situations. So keep an eye out for it, in those situations. Anyways, 1270 from the House of Frappin. Fragrance number 7 on the list is from the House of Amouage. The fragrance is called Epic Man from Amouage. Now this sucker, funny story, I lost this fragrance. I had no clue where this sucker was, and it turns out in my last move, I actually left, whenever I pack up a lot of my niche fragrances and stuff like that, I have the boxes for them. So I put them in the boxes, and then I pack all the boxes in another box, and line it with padding and everything like that to make sure that it gets to the location okay. Anyways, I accidentally left this in the box, in those boxes, when I unpacked it. I had forgotten it, and now it's back, and I was like, fantastic, I'm going to wear this one for the fall. This is frankincense, this is incense, this is Just, you know, a fantastic fragrance in that regard. Now, it's not too wearable in terms of you're not going to knock anyone's socks off, but to me, this is just a very, you know, kind of settling and soothing type of a scent that I generally tend to wear casually, and sometimes I wear it to work when I'm, you know, not quite sure, all right? So we've got Epic Man from the house of Amouage. Fragrance number 6 is my bulk fragrance from the house of Creed. This fragrance is Spice and Wood. Now, Spice and Wood is a funny scent. It literally is spices and it's woods, but it's not a heavy compliment getter. This is not something that is going to have people running in and saying, man, you smell good. It's almost like a filler scent, and I still staunchly kind of stand by it that it's really not worth the price, especially, you know, it comes in mainly the flacon, and it's just, you know, what can I say? But I actually do still enjoy it. All that aside, I enjoy it. I like wearing it for generally casual situations, work situations. I don't wear it going out, but you know, that's what other scents are actually for. But I got a lot of it, so I generally tend to go a lot heavier than most other fragrances that I spray on. So rather than going 5 sprays, I'll go 10 sprays. But it's not one that chokes people out, so that's perfectly fine with this fragrance, all right? So Creed's Spice and Wood. Number 5 on the niche list, we have a fragrance from the house of Diaz and Durja. We've got Bowmakers. Now this sucker is a, now I personally have a connection to this scent, mainly because of the fact that it's a scent that reminds me of my childhood. I used to play the violin, and it really reminds me of the rosin and the wood of the actual violin, and it really has kind of like a personal scent. So this is one that I actually wear around the house. I don't have much of it, but I still like to wear it, and I wear it around the house pretty much when I'm not going to go out, not going to do much. It's just a very soothing scent, reminds me of my past. I love it. Diaz and Durja's Bowmakers. Fragrance number 4 on the list we have is from the house of Ramon Monegal. This is Curel. This is the actual case for the sucker. You pop this open. I actually store it in just because it's easier. But this is what you're looking at, Curel. Now this one is a leather-based scent. This is leather. It's almost to the point of leather, Play-Doh-y leather, which is kind of strange. And it reminds me in a lot of ways of a fragrance that's similar to Dior Homme Intense. But Dior Homme Intense has a different kind of vibe to it, but they really do remind me of each other. And when you smell them, you kind of get what I mean by them. They don't smell, I'm not going to dive into it too much. That's a completely different story. Anyways, this one, night out fragrance through and through, is something that I wear, especially when it starts to get colder. I'll throw this sucker on. So Curel coming in at number 4. Coming in at number 3 is a fragrance that is still on the list. This has been around for a while. I absolutely love it. It is discontinued, I believe, so you might have trouble getting your hands on it, but love it nonetheless. This is Plum. This is Andy Warhol. It's got his face plastered on this sucker, and whew, man, this is plum, this is resin, this is delicious. It's fantastic. I wear this one all around, almost all occasions. Anything that I can think of, I'll throw this sucker on, and it'll be absolutely fine. All right, so Andy Warhol's at number 3. Sorry about that. Fragrance number 2 is a newcomer to the list that I still have not actually gotten a chance to review. I got it sent to me, and this was the one scent that I actually got to really test out with a couple other scents while I was in AFK, if you will, while I was away and moving and everything like that. We are talking about, from the house of imaginary authors, Slow Explosions. You may have heard about this sucker around, and I can't wait to review it. Man, this is number 2 on my list, and it's number 2 on my list for a reason. This is some really freaking good stuff. This is some really good stuff, to the point where it's rose, it's apple, it's, I'm looking at the back now, it's leather. Those are the 3 notes that I'm getting from this sucker. Rose, apple, and leather. Oh man, the rose, or the apple gives it its citrusy scent. I'm so excited of this. The leather kind of gives it its base, and the rose, I normally don't like rose scents. I don't go out and get rose scents, but this one works. My wife and I are fighting over this scent to see who's going to actually get to keep it and wear it. She wants to wear this one for sure. I want to wear this one. People love this scent. This is a winner from the house of imaginary authors. Check this one out if you got a chance, and I can't wait to review it, but it's number 2 on my list for a clear reason. This is fantastic. Again, Slow Explosions. And fragrance number 1 on my list, which is unfortunately a little bit harder to wear for me, but still is number 1. For those of you who know me, you know exactly what it is. Spiratu Double Vanille. I butcher that name every single time, and I love it. I love this scent. This is vanilla, it's booze, it is up there, it is in your face, it's sweet without the chance of being, too cloying. Oh man, the scent is so powerful, I can smell it right now, just because that's how powerful the sucker is. It's just oozing, it's emanating off of it. Man, this one is just it's my easily personal fall favorite. Out of all my fragrances, it's easily top 5. I fell in love with this and just love it. Still can't be dethroned. All right, number 1, Spiratu Double Vanille. Fantastic scent, a night out scent through and through, and something that I love to wear to bars. All right, that's pretty much it. Let me know what your top 10 scents are. Let me know what you are wearing for the fall for niche. Put your list down below, help some people out. Always curious to see what you guys are wearing, and it'll be a great time, all right? Thank you guys, take care of yourselves, and you guys have a great day.